Hey, welcome back to That Adventure Couple. Today we are in Siem Reap, Cambodia.
We're super excited today because we are going on a guided tour through Angkor Wat. So this is going to be really awesome because we're going to get so much in-depth information.
There's a lot of different tour options. You can just get a taxi to Angkor Wat and tour it yourself, but we chose to do a guided tour so they can tell us about all the stuff that we see.
For tour options, you can either go for a sunrise tour or for a sunset tour. There are also different ticket options, so you can do a 1-day pass, a 3-day pass, or a 7-day pass. So we chose to do the sunset tour today.
We'll put a link to all the different tours down in the description of the video. Our tour guide picked us up from our room in Siem Reap and we headed over to the Angkor Wat Temple Complex. The tour that we're on is going to visit several temples, including Angkor Wat. We're going to end on that one for sunset, so we're going to visit some other temples first. This is the gate behind us into Angkor Wat town. So we're going to go through the gate to visit the first several temples.
Everyone stops here because there is a beautiful reflection in the water where you can get a really cool photo.
That moat here, it's going all the way around as well with this city. Angkor Thom city that we are talking about, like say that with the 12-kilometer surrounding, it's covered with many temples, Buddhist and Hindu. But talking about Bayuan Temple, Angkor Thom city, it's from the King Suryavarman II, or you can call it to J7. So talking about to the J7, that's the one that mostly is talking about the great king. He's actually Hindu after married because of his wife Buddhist, so they have to combine us together. Angkor Wat Temple right now become a Buddhist temple. Even Cambodian people, we also confused. When we arrived to Angkor Wat Temple, oh, that's the Buddhist temple. Actually, from 12th century, they are the originally Hindu temple. Well, they found some of those Buddha statue after they did excavation. And they're putting all the stone statue back into the temple, but not the whole thing. Just a little bit, some of them they did. And also, like with some of the Buddha, they had still missing. Same thing to Angkor Wat temples as well. There, the body right here in Cambodia, they had, we don't know where's the Buddha. But talking about this, we say that's probably some of Cambodian treasure hunter or the smuggler. 115,000 to 220,000 people live in this city here. We're talking about this city about like say the 12-kilometer surrounding. They live on the high steel house. But along the way from the gate to this temple here, we see nothing along the way because all those houses burned during the war 15th century. So we're talking about this temple right here, what French they come choose. This one built during the 9th century, one, that because the age of the temple. It got fully of pollution around thing with all those trees growing on that. Compared to Angkor Wat temple that they found early, that one is newer than this one here.
It is so amazing how much detail there is on every inch of the sandstone in this temple. Even after 1,000 years, this is what's left after all the weathering.
So we do have a moat surrounding the temple, not just the outside city. So each temple, they have their moat surrounding. We're talking to protect the temple to the base of the building. All right. 2, as talking about the moat. It's the one thing that we're talking about the represent to the ocean. That we're talking about the god that live inside there. So that's why Angkor Wat Temple. I'm sure you saw a lot of photos with the moat around the temple there.
My favorite part about visiting these Cambodian temples is that you actually get to explore inside the temples. You get to feel the stone and walk the hallways and really just immerse yourself in the whole experience. We've now moved on to the second temple on our tour. This one looks like it may have been more reconstructed than the first one.
I like all the doorways because they look like picture frames. That brings some joy.
There are different styles of temples that you'll visit. This one is a tiered pyramid or a ziggurat. It was quite tall with very steep sides. These temples have some steep stairs.
They were like, oh, the ones on the wall are too steep. Let's build some stairs to help. These are really steep and skinny.
This temple was less crowded than the first, and the guide left us to explore on our own. Walking the trail between the temples is like walking in another world. These ancient stones and monuments have been left here for 1,000 years, and it is absolutely incredible to immerse yourself in this experience. You could literally spend weeks exploring these ancient ruins. What'd you find?
A temple.
A temple inside a tree?
Yeah. A really gnarly tree.
This tree's huge and really old.
It's just like a never-ending tree. I bet I could wrap my arms all the way around it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you want to see?
With this old stone right in here, what is laterite or tourists they call lava rock.
Yes.
This lava rock right in here, like most really good thing to the base of the temple only, but for a sandstone is really good to making a detail around in the building. That's why by Yuan Angkor Wat, this temple back home, we need the moat sandstone around it. So this one right here, we call the name Pitmyanagas temple that built in the royal's wall or royal palace right here. So the palace, it was right there before, back to that side, with a timber palace or houses for the people living around this place here. But those timber is gone during 15th century, all burning out there, and just only the temple left. This one in here, Pitmyanagas, in English, it means the sky palace. It's from the king about 10th century time, even older than that one's over there. But this one right now, they're not allowed to go there because the base is not that safe. Even last time they made the wooden step, but after a month later, they found out the base of the temple is not that strong there. So that's why we decided to blocking this in here, not a lot of people going up anymore. That's why I said that one of the few temples in Cambodia, which is you can't go up or go inside to the building there. Just only standing around the temple only, such as this one here.
If you're planning a trip to the Angkor Wat Temple Complex, we would recommend taking the guided tour at least on the first day. The guided tour provides tons of information about dates and people and the reasons for all of these monuments, and it really does help you enjoy the experience. Our guide was fantastic, giving us one-on-one attention and answering all of our questions. This temple was known as the Tomb Raider Temple because they filmed part of the Tomb Raider movie here.
And it's called
This temple appears to have not been very much reconstructed, which may be why they used it for the movie, so it looked like it was all destroyed. Top Rom was one of our favorite temples because of the state that it's in and how it's sort of being reclaimed by the jungle.
But talking about tree is 80%, like I can say that they are stand together. Which is the temples as well, there as you can see with the ones behind you right here, with the stand supporting to the wall. We mostly protect this temple right now with these two things together. Because the tree and the temple, they are like a best friend. With this root right here, is probably from that tree. It's coming everywhere around, and it looks like it destroyed part of this building here. But this gallery, we got an 8 gallery surrounding. So one, they completely restoration, and 7 of them is like they're still not yet doing anything.
It's really interesting to explore this temple specifically because it has not had a lot of restoration done to it. So it's really cool to see how the jungle is actually taking over the temple and to see how the trees are holding some parts of the temple together.
This side of the temple has been reconstructed. This is what the other sides looked like before they were ripped down. Here's another look at one of the galleries that after it was destroyed by war and has not been reconstructed yet. It's pretty amazing how well intact these stones and stuff still are. These temples were built almost 1,000 years ago, and it's mystical walking through there. It really is neat. This one's really cool. It's famous from the Tomb Raider movies, but it's really cool because it has the trees growing like directly on top of the temple, and the trees are 300 to 500 years old. Before we headed over to Angkor Wat Temple, our tour made a quick stop for a traditional palm cake.
So for the cake, they're gonna do like about the between 30 to 45 minutes to be ready and on sale. Saturday, Sunday, a lot of people. Monday, starting less until to the Friday. But they're starting with this business from the morning time until to the later. So inside the rice skin dumplings there, we have the palm sugars inside there, and that's sweet, but not that too sweet. It's good with the coconuts as well there.
After our snack, it was time to visit Angkor Wat Temple. We entered Angkor Wat Temple from the east side. Most people enter from the west side, so we're sort of taking the less traveled road.
Our tour guide took us into the main Angkor Wat Temple through the east entrance. This was awesome because there was almost no one back here, which meant we were able to get a ton of photos with no one else in them.
Angkor Wat, like the other temples that we visited, is covered entirely on the outside by sandstone. Every inch of this enormous temple is covered in intricate carvings.
Even though Angkor Wat is over 800 years old, it's amazing how much these intricate carvings have stood up the test of time.
It's quite a few steep stairs at these temples, so if you're not really good with stairs, then you might have to enjoy them from outside.
Look at the originals.
The original stairs are steeper than the wooden ones.
If you can handle the stairs, then the view from the top is absolutely worth it.
This is the view out of the west side of the temple. From out there, looking back, is where you get that iconic view of Angkor Wat. Since we're doing the sunset tour of Angkor Wat, we're here at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and there's a lot fewer people here than I thought there would be. They had mentioned that in the height of tourism before COVID, there was about 10,000 people a day venturing up to the top of Angkor Wat. And I'm up here at the top right now, and they said there's only been about 1,000 people today. So tourism has been way down. It's not empty here. There's people visiting, but it's clear enough that you can get good pictures and walk around without stepping on anybody. It's been really nice. Okay, where are you standing?
In the center of the universe.
This right here. The center of the universe. I found it.
Angkor Wat Temple.
Okay, we just visited Angkor Wat. We're about to go up to the top of the mountain to watch the sunset. What did you think of your experience here?
I thought it was really great that we did it in the afternoon because I do feel like there's less people here compared to what I read about when people come for sunrise. It was really nice because we got to see some of the other temples beforehand as well, and then we came here and the inside is just absolutely beautiful. The restoration work that they're doing is great, and I hope to see it finished sometime in the future.
We left Angkor Wat through the west entrance, which is usually considered the main entrance, and headed over to a nearby temple on a hill to watch the sunset.
We finished our tour over at Angkor Wat, and we are now at a neighboring temple called Nam the King Temple. And we climbed to the top of the mountain to sit at the temple and watch the sunset. This is a great place to watch the sunset because Angkor Wat closes too early to actually watch the sunset over there.
We hope you enjoyed our Angkor Wat small circuit tour. We'll put a link for this tour in the description of the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next adventure.